Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Guess Who's Bak with your host, Chase Geiser, joined by his esteemed co-host, Steven Bak. It is an honor and a pleasure to be with you under these extreme apocalyptic circumstances. We've got so much news to go over today, I don't even know where to begin. There's just so much to this. The President of the United States has authorized Saudi Arabia to enrich uranium under the guise of necessary electrical energy production. Obviously, in the context of the artificial intelligence arms race the world is in against China and each other and itself, all of our allies are preparing to participate in that conflict in the same way they participated in the nuclear proliferation that took place during the Cold War. And under the guise of the necessity of energy in this artificial intelligence arms race, the President of the United States has authorized Saudi Arabia to enrich uranium. And now we remember there's a famous moment in our history where J.D. Vance was colloquially, tongue-in-cheek, discussing a conversation that was had among leadership within this Trump administration, where they were discussing which Muslim majority country, which Islamically controlled country will become a nuclear power first. Which one will become a nuclear power first? And we know that Iran most likely already has nuclear weapons. We've discussed this for many years. This is something that Alex Jones has been saying for years, and I believe him, God knows. And now it's looking like it might be Saudi Arabia, despite the fact that J.D. Vance joked, well, it'll probably be the United Kingdom. After all, it's already a nuclear power, and it is seemingly controlled by Islam, especially in London, with the, I think, most common name of a newborn child in some of these urban cities in the United Kingdom being Muhammad. The United Kingdom might be the first Islamic country that is a nuclear power, but now with Donald Trump authorizing Saudi Arabia to enrich uranium, of course, just for the purpose of nuclear power, so they can participate in conjunction with the United States in the artificial intelligence arms race. Obviously, this is all just a play against China. Obviously, Saudi Arabia would never do anything to use that uranium or sell that uranium or trade that uranium for the sake of developing a weapon of mass destruction. And after all, what is it possibly going to matter after we've established and manifested and catalyzed the Golden Dome, which costs $800 million bajillion trillion dollars? After we've got the Golden Dome, we can just let everybody have nuclear warheads because we'll be able to shoot them out of the sky as if the wrath of God himself is manifest in our targeting devices developed by Lockheed Martin, SpaceX, Boeing, and others. And it goes Raytheon and on and on and on. So we have the enrichment of uranium in Saudi Arabia. We have the escalation of the conflict with Iran. We have the licensing of the ability to develop, I believe it's Patriot missiles, correct, in Ukraine? Mm-hmm. Ukraine is now allowed to develop its own Patriot missiles. They're not just using ours. They're not just borrowing ours. They're not just being lent ours. They're now able to develop their own using the intellectual property of the United States of America. And this is an early sign of the entropy of the American empire, where before you could use our technology, but you had to purchase it directly from us. Now we are so lacking in resources. We are so stretched thin economically, militarily, in every facet you can possibly imagine, on every front that any civilization has. We are so stretched thin that instead of actually providing these weapons or lending these weapons to our so-called allies, because after all, we love democracy more than anything else, we are licensing the intellectual property. We're saying, look, we can't give you the supplies or the weapons that you need. We're not going to be able to fund this conflict anymore, but we'll give you the white paper. We'll give you the schematics. And if you can figure out how to muster up any sort of manufacturing infrastructure in the Ukraine while it's being bombed and droned by Russia, among the top 3 superpowers in the entire planet, then you can go ahead and build them on your own. And don't worry, we won't sue you for intellectual property theft. Here's the instruction manual. Good luck, fuck you. That's happening right before our eyes. And of course, Congress today passed the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, with Section 219, formerly known as Section 224. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then they switched it to 219 for
to trick us.
Yeah, maybe to trick us, but certainly for bizarre. And make sure, Bak, when you talk, that mic is angled at you correctly. It's just a little low on you. I just want to make sure for later. But They passed it. Now it still has to pass the Senate. It's not entrenched yet. It's not happening yet. The SAVE Act is still developing. There is some hope that Congress passed something good today and that they have made it more difficult for members of Congress to engage in insider trading, though we'll see what actually happens because, of course, every time legislation passes to this effect, there are loopholes installed and ways in which our leaders can use rat holes to launder money, engage in insider trading, you name it. And frankly, you can just buy a bunch of Raytheon before you get into office and vote for war after war after war after war. Or buy a bunch of Boeing before you get into office and vote for war after war after war. And technically, it wouldn't be insider trading because the decision to buy wouldn't be because of any knowledge that you were unequally given or unfairly given. It would just be because you invest in that and then you have the power to fund that as much as possible. These companies that are so dependent on as many Department of Defense, I guess Department of War contracts as possibly imagined. So we've got the enrichment of uranium in Saudi Arabia. We've got Ukraine now allowed to use our military intellectual property. Now we've got the merging of Israeli and U.S. intelligence passing right before our eyes in the House of Representatives. What else is it that I'm missing? I know there were one or two other things, Bacchus, that we were going to talk about today.
I mean, it's just mostly it's like the AI hack attack with the OpenAI.
That's
on
wild. Yep.
Hugging Face. Yeah, now they're all working together. Even though we have guardrails that nerf the fuck out of everything we have anyways, this AI is still super malicious. Like the first thing it does when it breaks out of the sandbox is go right for a competitor to steal trade secrets. So what use are these guardrails anyways? Take them off. Give us everything short of grandma's meth recipe and biological weapons recipes and formulas. Other than that, it should be no holds barred, I think.
Holy shit, do we have a show for you tonight. And we're going to talk about the Ark of the Covenant, which I'm excited.
Yeah.
So if you're a conspiracy theorist, if you like the Y-Files, if you like things that are on the fringe of truth, but still true, fundamentally true, then stay tuned for the end of the broadcast. So we're going to hit the main news early in the show, and it's going to get weirder and weirder and weirder until Bach is completely naked. What do we have as a clip to start with? You want to do? Let's start with clip 100.
Yep.
Trump approves Saudi nuclear deal negotiated early in Trump's term with Saudi Arabia. A massive deal in which they were going to invest billions upon billions of dollars into the United States in exchange for something. Do you remember that? It's very vague in my memory. It was during the tariffs wars that were going on. And I think that it was early, dude. But it was to do with artificial intelligence, and it was obviously in conjunction with the AI arms race. But I wonder if this recent development with the enrichment of uranium is an extension of that. Let's do Trump deals with Saudi Arabia in office bullet points. Yeah, I remember when I was still with InfoWars. I remember this happening early in Trump's term, and it was, I think, during the passage of the Big Beautiful Bill and a lot of talk about the Golden Dome. That was when there was this massive deal. So, yeah, May 2025, Trump's visit to Riyadh, $600 billion Saudi investment commitment in the United States focused on infrastructure, energy, technology, so AI data centers and industry. Largest ever U.S.-Saudi defense sales agreement, $142 billion, this is in May of 2025, for state-of-the-art equipment services across air missile defense, maritime security, land forces, space, and communications, involves multiple U.S. defense firms, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and RTX. Energy and other commercial partnerships announced, including specific projects with U.S. companies, including GE, Vernova Turbines, Boeing Aircraft, healthcare and infrastructure. Then again in November of 2025, MBS visit to Washington. Investment commitment increased to nearly $1 trillion total, building on the May pledge that we just discussed. U.S.-Saudi Strategic Defense Agreement, the SDA, strengthens 80-plus year partnership, technology transfers, joint training, burden sharing, easier operations for U.S. defense firms in Saudi Arabia, and regional deterrence. And then approval for F-35 fighter jet sales, future deliveries. They purchased 300 U.S. Abrams tanks as part of a major defense package. Saudi Arabia designated a major non-NATO ally during this trip in November. Joint declaration on civil nuclear energy cooperation, so foundation for multi-billion-dollar partnership, U.S.-American firms as preferred partners for Saudi civil nuclear program with non-proliferation standards, allegedly. AI memorandum of understanding, access to advanced U.S. AI systems and chips, NVIDIA, while protecting U.S. tech. Critical minerals framework and other economic financial agreements, $270 billion in additional agreements, MOUs, memorandums of understanding, announced at the Saudi U.S. Investment Forum. Now it's July of 2026. We've got a landmark 30-year civilian nuclear cooperation agreement. 123 agreement, allegedly, signed by the U.S. Energy Secretary. And by the way, the Department of Energy is a cutout of the Department of Defense. It's a national security apparatus, has nothing, it has little to do with actual energy demands, needs from a civilian perspective here in the United States of America. You'll hear anybody who's an expert in the Department of Energy, in the DoD. You'll hear anyone that knows what they're talking about with the experience in either of these departments say that the Department of Energy is actually a military or a national security department more than anything else. Now you've got the Department of Energy somehow involved with Saudi Arabia. Tell me, why is it that the Department of Energy in the United States, if it's solely a civilian domestic infrastructure department, why is it involved in any way, shape, or form with massive developments or trade agreements or partnerships with Saudi Arabia? What does, if the Department of Energy is civilian, what does it have to do with Saudi Arabia whatsoever? It's actually a cutout of the DoD, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, they're over the Department of Atomic Energy. Obviously, a Department of Atomic Energy handling things like uranium enrichment, et cetera, et cetera. So if you look at all the Gulf Coast nations, since the British Empire, which we inherited after World War II, these are all synthetic states. These are just lines that were drawn on a map, British intelligence playing one tribe off of another tribe. We inherited the whole system. So this isn't, to me, this isn't, the main analysis that could be made here is this isn't groundbreaking news. This is just the public unveiling of what's been going on behind the scenes for the last 70 years. The U.S. has been propping up Gulf Coast monarchies, kingdoms, tribal chieftain warlords. It's the whole history of these states. I think the last time I heard any bad relations was when British Empire still controlled Saudi Arabia, and then FDR brought one of the sheiks on, and then he said, "Oh, you guys remind me of a goat, and we're not gonna hand you any oil." I'm butchering the quote, obviously. Did you ever hear about that?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
And I just want to let you know that I think the mouse to this computer has died. So I'm going to need you to keep hosting, keep talking, because I love the rant that you're going on while I figure out another solution to this, because we're not going to be able to play clips until I fix this problem.
Yeah.
Just
so
letting you know.
Go get the mouse ready.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was about to go on a rant. So when you see, typically what happens when you see an empire in decline, which I'm never going to give up on America. I'm always going to be America first, America only, especially nowadays, seeing all the shenanigans that Trump's been getting us into. When you see an empire go into decline, you see more and more wealth and technology extracted out as tribute, and you see the vultures circling. But I think this is an American strategy that really hints at there are breakaway civilization technologies. We are truly light years ahead of what's on the surface. So that's why the United States doesn't mind giving out MERV technology, giving out licensing Patriot missile production. Because I've been telling Chase, when we got into arguments with Elon, all these things on the surface, corvettes, frigates, Patriot battery systems, even nuclear weapons, these are all tinker toys. This is nothing compared to what the deep state's been in control of with continuity of government, with the deep underground military facilities. I'm under the impression we have bases on the moon, that we've completely militarized space since the days of Battleship Galactica coming out and Stargate 1.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, Battlestar Galactica. This is all slow disclosure. That's why they don't care about letting these technologies proliferate and be licensed out to our allies at this point. Because in the great game, the strategic objective of defeating China, defeating Russia, defeating BRICS is much more important than holding on to outdated Aegis systems, Patriots missile batteries, even biological weapons. All these things are going to be outsourced because, like, the bombs we should be talking about are neutron bombs, which were developed in the 70s and 80s. Like, that doesn't leave a nuclear footprint. It kills everything biological in a city, but it'll leave a city's infrastructure standing. We should be talking about race-specific bioweapons. We should be talking about the next generation of combat robotics. That's so much more important than talking about Minuteman missiles, which are 70 years old, for God's sakes. You know, some of these missile silos, the pop still tops off, the top hatch pops off, and everyone knows where they are. Like Raven Rock, all these other old continuity of government places, they're nothing now. This is all outdated technology. So the U.S. in its decline isn't going to pull the ladder up. It's going to proliferate at a faster, more accelerated rate. Expect this to become the new norm. So we shouldn't be shocked. Thank you, Leroy45 Long, for the super chat. He says, "What up, fellas? This shit is out of control. Our chosen ally is running us now."
Seems like it.
Yeah, they grew a parasite inside of us. Who's ultimately in control? That could still be for debate. Honey Badger, thank you for the $5 super chat. He says, "If I could time travel, I tell JFK what happened and that he needs to go hard on Israel and disband the CIA now." If you remember that famous quote, he was going to scatter the intelligence agencies into 1,000 pieces and, you know, exactly, let them go into the wind. I think he was already onto them. He wanted to go and inspect the Mona nuclear power plant, and that's probably the main reason he got killed. Mr. C, USA Patriot, thank you for the super chat. He says, "Let's just let everyone have nuclear tech. What could possibly go wrong there? And yes, the Department of Energy are the ones that suppress all the advanced tech, like the Dr. Greer movie, The Lost Century, explains." I totally agree with you. We could end up in an ironic situation where everyone has these outdated nuclear systems and first strike capability isn't possible for them. So it actually ends up in a mutually assured destruction scenario again, and it stabilizes. Wouldn't that be the most ironic lesson of history that could repeat? So thank you guys for the super chat so much. Do we have enough?
Keep rolling.
Yeah. Do we have enough juice in the mouse to play clip 101?
Almost.
Okay, cool. So that's my analysis on it. America's
I'll give you one clip while I continue to solve this problem.
Yeah, put on Uncle Alex.
All right. Hey, I can't disagree with Uncle Alex there. Why is it that we allow some nations to have nuclear power and not others? But I mean, the obvious answer is that some nations, we have a reliable sense that they're our allies and some don't, right? North Korea isn't allowed to have nuclear weapons. It's seen as a cutout of China. And the reason that they're allowed to, in quotes, is because we know that deterring them from having any nuclear power would be would catalyze a hot conflict with China.
Well, this is we have every right to be outraged. But this is not something that's a new scenario. This has been ongoing for decades, and BRICS is already proliferating.
It's the fact that they lie about it. Like, hey, we're going to allow Saudi Arabia to enrich uranium, and it has nothing to do with any defense needs or military issues or national security interests whatsoever. They've just become a strategic partner with the United States in developing, catalyzing, creating, and innovating artificial intelligence technology. And obviously, we know here in the United States of America that in order to actually operate and develop artificial intelligence that's truly cutting edge, it demands a substantial amount of energy. So obviously, we should allow Saudi Arabia to enrich uranium solely for the purpose of allowing them to establish and manufacture and generate the infrastructure in their energy grid to meet the tremendous amount of electrical demand to develop artificial intelligence that's going to have both defense and civilian applications. It's never going to translate into any sort of a defense issue or a nuclear proliferation issue. It's fucking bullshit. And let me tell you one more. I actually believe that this demand for electricity that is so propagated, and propagated is the correct word because it's related so closely to propaganda, right? It's so propagated how much energy is needed for artificial intelligence. I don't think that it's a coincidence that we've seen this energy demand increase propaganda in conjunction with continued nuclear proliferation among our allies. I think it's a cover. And if you look at what happened during the Cold War, there were some very interesting things that happened. There's, 3 Mile Island or whatever, that was a little after, I think. There was obviously Chernobyl, which took place. But there was this massive environmentalist campaign against nuclear energy over the course of like 50 fucking years, despite the fact that all of the evidence, all of the data, all of the science suggests that nuclear power, when operated correctly, not in a cheap, RBMK reactor, not in a bullshit Soviet way where the rods actually catalyze, a nuclear energy before they subdue it, it causes the Chernobyl explosion. But when nuclear energy is properly done, It's actually much better for the environment than almost any other form of energy that we have. Obviously, it's not ideal because these reactors continue to operate even if everybody on the planet disappeared. Obviously, government, it can't even run a DMV, so it's very questionable as to whether or not we should give government the authority or the power to operate these nuclear plants. I'm not somebody who's out here advocating for nuclear power. I'm just saying that if everybody's IQ was 120 instead of 85 and we actually weren't corrupt, it would be a feasible option for us to consider on a massive scale, right? But the reason there was a massive campaign against nuclear energy was very little to do with any sort of environmental perspective. Yeah, the environmentalists thought that's what they were doing. What happens if there's radiation all over the place and, just footage after footage of Manhattan Project
What do you do with the nuclear waste?
What do you do with the nuclear waste? You can't bury it in a mountain forever. What happens when the mountain's full? Can we blast it into space? Well, that takes more energy than we even developed. And, I get it, whatever. There's a lot of normies, a lot of useful idiots on the ground that did truly believe that it was an environmental issue, but nobody seriously felt that way. And nobody even really has any idea the scale of which this planet is. I mean, this planet is freaking huge, man. I'm not a huge fan of Neil deGrasse Tyson, but if you watch Neil deGrasse Tyson on Joe Rogan, he's absolutely correct. He gets it wrong. He says that the Earth, if you were to make a person at scale, the Earth is smoother than a professional pool cue, right? From its lowest point to its highest point across the circumference of the planet is so vast that if you were to drag your finger across the planet, it would feel as smooth as a pool cue.
As a baby's ass.
Yeah. I looked it up. It's actually a professional grade bowling ball that's as smooth as, not a pool cue. He got that one wrong, but he's self-righteous. But that's how big the planet is. So there's places we could put nuclear waste that are fairly reliable, right? Not advocating. I'm just saying the reason, though, the point I'm trying to make, and I've been long-winded here, the real reason that the United States and there was this massive movement against nuclear energy over the course of the last 50 years is because the leap from nuclear energy to nuclear weaponry is a very narrow gap. If you can figure out how to generate nuclear power and enrich uranium for nuclear power as a nation, whether you're India, whether you're Pakistan, whether you're North Korea, whether you're China, whether you're Saudi Arabia, if you can figure out how to generate nuclear energy like the Soviets did, like we've done here in the United States of America, you are this flipping close to developing a nuclear weapon. It's like you've done all the hard parts. You're 90% of the way there. That's the real reason there was a massive campaign against nuclear energy the world over, because during the Cold War, there was a CIA effort to stop nuclear proliferation. We don't want India to develop nuclear power. We don't want Ukraine to develop nuclear power. We don't want whoever. I'm just using these as examples. I mean, you could probably find an error with one of those examples I used, but we largely don't want second world countries to develop nuclear power because we, from a national security perspective, understand that if they can develop nuclear power, then they can develop nuclear weapons. It's like that famous scene in Braveheart where Longshanks is informed that York has been sacked. And he says, if they can sack York, they can sack London, right? If they can develop nuclear energy, then they can develop an atomic weapon, right? It's the same exact principle. That's the real thing. So this whole guise that we're getting from the government in the United States of America, from the Trump administration, from the Department of Energy, which is involved internationally for God knows what reason, from the Department of Defense, that the reason that we're allowing Saudi Arabia or supporting Saudi Arabia in the development of or the enrichment of uranium for the sake of nuclear power, yeah, it's probably kind of true because of the AI data centers, but it's really because for some reason our national security apparatus has decided that it's in our national security interest in the United States of America that Saudi Arabia become an independent nuclear power from a weapons of mass destruction perspective. It's part of the IMEC corridor plan. It's a strategic ally. There may be an effort to replace our ally relationship with Israel since they suck so bad with Saudi Arabia. There could be a transition happening right now, but do not be fooled. Giving them the ability or endorsing their ability to enrich uranium is not because we want them to have energy. It's because we want them to have nuclear weaponry.
Remember I told you I see some trends alarming and going on in the future with the Mahdi and the rise of a global Islamic caliphate? Mm-hmm. This would be one more stepping stone in that road to that, a nuclear-armed Saudi Arabia, which means a nuclear-armed Kuwait, Bahrain. All of these countries are essentially, they're going to follow lockstep. All those monarchies are in lockstep. Just to put a bookend to this nuclear. Like they've always used the environmental movement to mask for another move.
Yes.
Whether it's energy austerity, making sure the citizens of the United States don't get too big for their britches, you know, because we've been sitting on micro reactors, we've been sitting on fusion, fission, in my opinion, for a very long time. And Elon Musk and all these different companies, they're the front men to roll this out.
0 point energy,
0 point
quantum energy, whatever.
So we're giving away the last tech, the last generation of tech, because we're fully invested into, more than prototyped, probably fully functional. And then now they just need to roll it out to the surface so they can saturate what's on top, so they can have full autonomy, full control over the citizenry. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the military-industrial complex was worried, because at the same time we were developing our nuclear weapons program, we were developing our weather warfare programs and the directed energy weapons also. So it was probably a tit for tat, like, okay, like we're going to have to tell them, hey, we want to stay green, we want to save the trees, we don't want nuclear waste to proliferate everywhere. When in reality, we were worried what would actually happen to these facilities if they got struck by an earthquake, if they got flooded out, if they got hit with, you know, space-based weaponry. I'm going to shout out these super chats real quick now. Thank you, Honey Badger, for the $5 super chat. He says, I know he was on to them, but I'm saying I'd tell him he has to do it now. Don't go through a process, just go hard as fuck and don't go to Texas. Fire LBJ. God bless JFK, best damn Democrat ever. Thank you, Mr. C, USA Patriot, for the $10 super chat. Very generous, guys. I think Bak is into something. Onto something. Trump's cabinet said we have tech that makes time and space irrelevant. Yeah, he's alluded to it many times in many different press
hasn't even
conferences.
alluded to it. They've explicitly stated that.
Oh, explicitly stated that. You're right. The breakaway society likely has tech that will make all this shit obsolete anyways. That's why we're proliferating. That's yesterday's tech today. Thank you, Squeezy VZ, for the $5 super chat. Related tangent. Helion Energy IPO will be the one to watch. They've been making a lot of headway on fusion, allegedly. We actually covered them in an episode a few weeks ago. There's 3 IPOs. They're starting to put these micro reactors everywhere now. SRT, not foreign, the win. Thank you for the $2 super chat. He says, smoother, you mean smooth with the V.
Smooth.
And then he says again, thank you again for the $5 super chat. Chase said massive like 12 times, but didn't mention Lauren Buber, electrodravitic technology.
Isn't torsion where your balls get scrambled?
I thought torsion was when the thing that connects your nuts in the sack gets twisted up.
Yeah. When your right ball goes on the left side, that's torsion. It's supposed to be very painful.
Could you imagine,
and the only way they can fix it is to have like some doctor grab your balls and actually manually undo it. And it's supposed to be very
manually reverse torsion.
Yeah, I knew a guy that got it. He was in a play and he had to jump in the play, and when he jumped, his balls like tangled, and he had to go to the hospital, and they had to like manually undo it as he sat there.
Everything for art.
Anything for the art.
Honey Badger, thank you for the $5 super chat. If you ask me, everyone could have a mini reaction like we have generators. Chase knows I love JFK.
Mort.
Yeah, I mean, NVIDIA's talking about putting server racks at your house to pay for your utility so they can decentralize compute and GPUs and CPUs all over the place instead of having it centralized using all these resources. I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea as long as it's not embedded with spy tech, or it doesn't have some weird little frequency that gives you testicular torsion, you know? But like, that is an innovative idea. Let's decentralize compute. Let's have it pay for your utilities. Let's have it pay you in its downtime when it's not being used.
Oh, so like my computer at home could just be wired in, humming, kind of like a Bitcoin miner, but only for compute. Not just your computer.
It's essentially like a you know how they have the Tesla batteries everywhere, and they do something like that already for solar. It'd be the same thing. NVIDIA would be a utility company. They would actually bolt a server rack in your basement.
If I could get paid to just have my Alienware gaming computer humming all day and just like sliding compute into the network, I would totally sign up for that.
So it would be
it's an extra $50 a month, or it's a little bit.
That, bro.
Yeah, it'd be more than your the electrical demand, right?
They're saying, I mean, Jensen Huang was saying it could be a surplus income, a supplemental income.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Like 20, 30, 40K a year, depending on how many server racks you would want installed outside your house, in your house, connecting with your devices, giving extra compute.
To pay your energy bill plus a little bit more.
More than that, yeah. No, like you'll actually get a check for like a few racks a month.
No shit.
Yeah. Like,
they can come to my house anytime they want.
Bro, 100% install a server rack in my freaking on my back, bro. I'll carry around a backpack server.
But then there's so many backdoors and opportunities there. I mean, that's
why I said no spy tech embedded. Make sure it doesn't fucking kill you. You know? Yeah. Thank you, Mr. C, USA Patriot. I saw a mini data center in someone's house in Arizona. They were paying him to let it run there. Yeah, you're seeing there's Jensen Huang's not the only one that proposed this. There are companies active right now doing this.
Wild.
Which is like, that's innovative. That's a good solution to these massive data centers that do noise pollution, that pollute the water, that take all the water sources up.
Yeah, and as long as you like, and that the cool thing about the decentralization too is if they start doing shit we don't like, we can just go down in our basement, fucking.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Then it's like, fuck you.
And then we get a drone that comes to your house and goes, valued citizen, why have you shut off your decentralized server?
Please reboot your centralized server. Please, citizen, please.
We will not ask again.
We will not ask again.
And then you just...
Here's a bottle of water. Just drop it.
You ever see that meme from Amazon? It's like, valued prime citizen, go back to your prime dwelling and await your prime instructions.
I haven't seen that. That's funny as hell.
It's so fucking funny. Yes, let's play clip 102, since we've been talking about them licensing the Patriot missiles.
Mr. President, will you allow Europe to make Patriot interceptors in Europe? Are you comfortable with licensing?
This has the break in the feed. Just let it
Patriot
continue.
interceptors to be made in Europe.
And you're talking with respect to Ukraine. Well, we're going to talk about that. You know, look, it's a defensive weapon, which I like.
That's not true.
Better than an offensive weapon. It's the best. But one of the things I think we're going to be talking about today, a little birdie told me this, about the fact that we'll give them the right to make Patriots. We'll show them how to do it. It's very complex, actually, but it's you'll figure out the complexity quickly. And we're talking about that, and the company that makes them, which is building now 4 plants, you know, all of our companies will be able to do this in 2 to 3 months. If you order a Patriot, now you have to wait a long time for them. Same thing with Tomahawk.
See, like I said,
we have a lot of certain equipment, but
we can't get them there fast enough, so we're just going to let them build their own.
Yeah.
And you don't need elite equipment necessarily for a war, but so one of the things we're going to be talking about is
what they're going to want to do is they're going to want to manufacture them in NATO ally countries, though, so they can't bomb the facilities. That's the next thing you're going to hear. The next stage is Ukraine has in partnership with Poland.
Exactly.
You know, yeah.
Latvia, Lithuania, Spain.
Yeah, they're not going to build them in Ukraine because they'll just get bombed.
You know, they'll be able to do it. You'll be able to figure that out. Most countries couldn't do that. No. If I said that to most countries, they wouldn't know what I'm talking about. But this is a very ingenious group, and what I like about that, it's a defensive situation as opposed to an offensive. But I think one of the things you might want to be talking about is that. That's what I heard. Little birdie told me that.
That's wild.
Yeah, I know, right? A little birdie told me that. So
That's
he's politically committed. This is not in place yet.
They'll probably build him in Saudi Arabia.
I mean, if you're going to license him in one war zone, why wouldn't you license them in every other theater?
Yeah, but it's crazy because he's trying to make it seem like this, generous, incredible favor that we're doing for Ukraine. But the reason we're doing it is because we do not have the infrastructure in place in the United States of America. We don't have the labor, we don't have the facilities, we don't have the materials to make the Patriot systems fast enough for the demand at this point in the escalation of the Ukraine war with Russia. So we can't do it. We're going to miss out on that potential business because we can't meet the demand. We just don't have the supply. So we're just going to allow them to do it. It's if you read between the lines there, he's saying, hey, the United States no longer has the capacity to meet the demand of this war. We can't give you the supplies that you want. Even if we wanted to make money off of you and sell you these missiles, we don't have shit here in the United States of America because our manufacturing is totally fucked and has been for the last 50 years. And so you're going to have to just take the IP and make them on your own.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the same reason why we went to General Motors and the Ford plants. And then Palmer Luckey was even saying that too. Like, you could make these, just like World War II, you can convert any car plant, any place that makes automotive parts, any place that makes electrical parts, and then convert them right over into the missile defense production line.
Oh, it's wild, dude. All right, let's watch this next clip.
This whole initiative could also be financed by missile sales. So you'd have the production line in America, but you would then have numerous production lines in Ukraine that presumably, as well as furnishing the Ukrainian military's own air defense requirements, could also then be furnishing the Patriot requirements of other customers around the world, including
exactly
the
what you
United
just
States. So potentially this becomes a win-win.
Reverse
but the devil is in the detail here. because the hard work will be getting these production lines established, getting the people trained to manufacture the weapons, testing the weapons, getting them deployed, and spinning all of that capacity up so that it can support Ukrainian air defense. But I think conservatively, it's very, very difficult to give an exact number on how long it may take to go from the current situation to one where Patriots are being used in volume in Ukraine, home built against Russian air defense threats. I would think you're talking at least 18 months, it probably longer.
They'll fast track it. They'll get it done in 6 months. They don't have that time.
Let's say
the technical advisors are already in Ukraine since the NATO summit.
Ukraine is going to face
and here's the thing.
Tomorrow.
Here's where he's wrong.
What it is going to do is illustrate to Russia.
Where he's wrong is they're announcing it, and he's talking about a little birdie now. That means that this plan has already been in place.
Yeah.
They're probably already 6 to 12 months into establishing this infrastructure. So it's going to be announced probably before the end of the year, certainly before the end of this term. I think it's going to be announced before the end of the year.
It's already been ongoing.
That Ukraine is developing its own in response to this new initiative, and it's been going on for a fucking long time already. It's done, dude.
And I could tell you right now where the production lines in Ukraine actually would be. You have to bury these type of factories, these munition factories. They can't be out in the open. Russia will bomb them,
or build them in a NATO ally.
So look to the Carpathian Mountains. That's where this type of logistical chain would be set up. Is the Carpathian Mountains
on the third day
in Ukraine, right?
Yeah,
yeah. It's not going to be out in the open, dude.
Where does Carpathia come from? Is it Greek?
The Carpathian Mountain range extends through the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Poland, Hungary.
Yeah, I know it doesn't go into Greece, but is it Greek? Carpathia sounds Greek.
I don't know, but I haven't had a gyro in a long time. A lamb gyro with some Siki yogurt sauce. Ooh, has me howling at the moon.
Let's see here. The name Carpathian Mountains or Carpathians most likely comes from an ancient Indo-European root meaning rock, cliff, or rugged mountain. The name derives from the ancient Greek Karpates, Oros, recorded by the geographer Ptolemy in the 2nd century AD. This was Latinized as Carpates. It probably comes from the Proto-Indo-European root. So it essentially means something like Rocky Mountains or rugged, sharp mountains, which fits the range's jagged, forested character. Name appears in classical sources. Herodotus mentioned a related river, Carpus. Medieval times, different groups use the name. Hungarian mountains, snowy mountains in Hungarian. The Carpathian. Wasn't the Carpathian a name of a ship too?
I stopped paying attention.
Early 20th century?
Right before 7th grade MCAS.
Yeah, I'm just interested. Is there somebody named Carpathia, like in a myth? I was just sensing there was something ironic about the name Carpathian Mountains as a place to hide a weapon.
Yeah, me and Chase got in an argument over root words on the elevator up to the office. If you guys didn't know, hermetically sealed came from Hermes the messenger.
Yep.
And the alchemist.
Yep. All right, let's keep running.
All right, Zelensky just replaced his chief of staff. It's a short clip 104.
Chief of staff or commander-in-chief?
Commander-in-chief.
Okay, those are different things. Commander-in-chief is the head of the military. Chief of staff is somebody that manages
the military,
your schedule.
sorry. Yeah,
okay, I'm just making sure.
The commander-in-chief.
This is the same place where for nearly a week, thousands of Ukrainians gathered to protest. They had two demands.
Ukrainian women are fucking beautiful,
Defense
bro.
Minister Mikhailo Fedorov, seen as the driving force behind Ukraine's military modernization, and remove Army Chief Alexander Syrsky, seen by protesters as part of the old guard. They got part of what they wanted. Last night, in his evening address, President Volodymyr Zelensky announced a new commander-in-chief, Mikhailo Drapatый. Ukrainians have largely welcomed the change. The new army chief is 43 years old. He belongs to a new generation of Ukrainian generals, officers who rose through the ranks fighting Russian aggression. Drapatый first became known for his courage back in 2014, the year
during
Russia
the Civil War.
Illegally annexed Crimea and seized it.
I think that's when the Civil War started in Ukraine, 2014.
Yeah, after the
right
Maidan
now,
protests.
This square is empty.
Contact's direct commander was one of the key figures in the Maidan
Ukrainians
protest.
used here during their protests.
Philo.
Zelensky offered Fedorov a different job, one meant to unify the countries.
Remember we were just talking about this with Contact, how they removed...
It's still unclear, and whether that's enough to bring the protesters home and end political crisis that erupted almost overnight. That's the real question now.
Very interesting.
Well, you can tell he's politically in trouble if he's rearranging the deck
Yeah,
chairs
Abraham
on
Lincoln
the
was doing the
Titanic.
same thing.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln was constantly replacing generals while the North was losing the Civil War. And eventually he got the pieces right.
He got his Ulysses S. Grant?
Yeah, he got the pieces right and he won, but it was not a good sign that Abraham Lincoln had to do that, and he was doing it because it was a moment of desperation in the war. Same thing with Ukraine.
Yeah, the South had most of the battle-hardened commanders at the time. Remember
did
the
you
North
notice
wanted
in that? Did you notice in that clip that Zelensky, you know, as Trump was sitting there saying, "Oh, we got a special treat for you. You can build your own," you know.
A little birdie told me.
A little birdie told me. Did you notice that Zelensky did not seem overly pleased? You know that he came and he asked for more missiles. He asked for them quickly and rapidly, and he was given as a concession the right to build his own. And he's thinking, fuck, how am I supposed to do that? We already have supply chain issues. He did not seem, I mean, he was being respectful, but if you look at his body language, he did not seem put at ease at all by the fact that he was given permission. It'd be like if the government came to me and said, Chase, you can make your own nuclear bomb if you want.
And like, you're like, how the fuck am I going to make my nuclear bombs?
Yeah. I'd be like, thanks. You know?
I have a license for that? Thank you.
You know? I guess more realistically, like, Chase, it's okay if you manufacture your own automatic weapons. It's like, I guess I could do that. I could figure out how to do that, but that's like...
It's still dope to get a license to do that, though.
I understand. Of course it is.
But it doesn't help you in your immediate scenarios. Immediate situation.
Yeah. If somebody was like... If there was a band of Cherokee outside of my home attacking it and throwing torches at it, and I had, you know, all I had was a handgun, and the government came in and said, hey, look, sorry, we can't send you what you need to defend your home, but... it is now not considered illegal for you to develop any weapon that you want with the materials inside of your house.
They throw you a blueprint
I'm like,
for
what
the Henry
fuck,
lever
dude?
action.
Yeah, I don't have anything. Like, what?
You don't have iron ore. You don't have anything.
Thanks. Like, you know, like, yeah. So, all right. Yeah. Ukraine, dude, whatever you want, man. Do whatever you want. Build your own Patriots.
Cocaine
missiles.
will generally put you at unease. So you might not be happy with anything. So we don't, but that's a really good point. Thank you, Squeezy VZ, for the $5 super chat. Ukraine and Iran are testing grounds for next-generation war platforms, quietly funded via our tax dollars funneled through USAID, NED, IRI, etc. Yeah, I totally agree. It's a testing ground for both sides, too. That's why you see China and Russia shipping in their 3-band YSR radars or YSL radars. That's why you see all the ISAT information for targeting coming into Iran. Because we're popping up, we're showing and deploying where our forces are postured. Pops right up on the satellite feed, you know? They feed it right to Iran. Iran gets to test their old missile stockpile out, make sure it's still viable. They get to test out their next generation hypersonics also. Do you want to play Ukraine? Yeah, we'll just hit these really quick. 105, Ukraine hits Russia's Amazon. It's called Wildberries.
It's not in English. Okay, that's an Amazon warehouse that just got smashed in Russia?
Yes. This is the second time this has happened.
I gotta switch it to playback so the audience can see.
So we know Ukraine's been targeting civilian infrastructure, but damn, imagine if you were just waiting on your PlayStation 5 or something.
Was the Amazon warehouse really an Amazon warehouse? You know what I mean?
Russia's saying yes, and Ukraine saying no.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Russia, I'd be hiding arms and supply chain shit in civilian warehouses.
Yeah, and a lot of spaces on X fall for this shit too, you know? It's just like, guys, come on, it's a freaking all-out total war. You still have Putin calling it a special military operation.
Yeah. Yeah, just like Iran's a special military operation. Iran's Pickaxe Mountain?
Yeah, this is very important.
All right, let's watch.
These satellite images show what could be the US's next target in Iran. Shrouded in secrecy, Pickaxe Mountain is a suspected nuclear enrichment site, buried deep underground to protect it from attacks. Located around 225 kilometers south of Tehran and 2 kilometers from the Natanz nuclear facility, the mountain reaches 1,600 meters above sea level, while the fortified facility is estimated to be more than 90 meters below the surface. Experts believe that construction on the site started in 2020 and that it's not yet fully operational. Recent activity appears to show a security wall being built around the perimeter and its entrances being reinforced. US President Donald Trump has indicated that he has it in his sights.
Yeah, so if you remember Operation
I think
Midnight...
the Carpathia the name of the boat that the Titanic might have been? I can't remember. Please, somebody in the chat.
No, but the Titanic had a sister ship too, remember?
Yeah, was it the Carpathia?
I don't know.
Or was the Carpathia the one that rescued everybody?
I don't know if they named
We
the
have to
freaking
get to the
ship
bottom.
Big Booty Hose.
Didn't one of them
the
start with
SS
it?
Big Booty?
Lusitania was one.
The Lusitania was the one that got sunk in World War I.
Oh.
Remember?
Yeah.
The New York Times headlines, the Germans were saying, don't go on here, don't go on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all the people who opposed the Federal Reserve, part of them were like their proto...
Some of them were on the Lusitania, some of them were on the Titanic.
Exactly.
They both sank?
They both sank, yeah.
It's just crazy. Somebody in the chat tell me what the fuck the Carpathia is. I don't have time to look it up. I'm so busy right now.
No, it's all right. That's your ADHD. But why we brought up that clip with with Iran's Pickaxe Mountain and Operation Pickaxe that's going down, which Trump has already said we're going to hit Pickaxe Mountain hard, was Midnight Hammer. We hit Nahant, Fordo. We hit those nuclear power plants that were already deeply embedded underground. And then we essentially... What would you call an atomic landslide? We collapsed it in on itself. Remember, there was a whole
like
one
a nuclear
missile hit.
implosion?
So what they did was they dug themselves out. They measured how far because those were state-of-the-art bombers that did that. They took off from Missouri. It was like a 30-hour trip with mid-air refueling. And then they measured that. They absorbed that strike. They dug out some of those sites already, and that's what Pickaxe Mountain is. And they put the nuke, whatever they could salvage, they brought to Pickaxe Mountain, which was already operational, and they brought it even deeper.
Why are you yelling at me?
Sorry, I get excited when I talk about things like this. I have a hard time talking today. I have dry mouth, by the way, guys.
You do?
I think there are colored people. And then this is Trump 107.
All right.
Man,
then can we move on from this topic?
Yeah.
All right.
Mr. President, there are no signs that Iran is ready to stop fighting. So what is the plan? Is the plan to just keep bombing until they give up?
There are no signs. Why, do you know something that I don't know?
So talks are
still
still
something
possible?
that I don't know? Do you know something I don't know?
Well, tell us.
I will tell you, they want to desperately meet, and until they're ready to meet in a meaningful way, we have no interest in even...
So
if we left right now, it would take Iran 20, 25 years to rebuild.
Then why don't you leave right now?
Okay, and we're not finished at all.
Because this is only a half truth.
It would take them a long time, years to rebuild. But we're not leaving right
That's the
now.
follow-up question, though. Then why don't you leave right now?
Absolutely attack.
Where's the fucking journalism?
The new site that.
If
you would beat it, fuck you too.
It did get a little
They're in this
testy, but
because
she didn't
of
ask the right
nuclear weapons,
questions.
and they're trying to
I'll show you a testy.
possibly reconstitute
No torsion.
a site. We'll hit that site. Any site where they're even thinking about nuclear, we'll be hitting it very, very powerfully.
Do you believe that Iran has moved nuclear centrifuges into Pickaxe Mountain?
It doesn't mean anything unless they have the material. You're talking about the centrifuges. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything unless they have the material. They don't have. We follow the material. That's where the action.
So if they don't have the material, then why the fuck are we bombing them?
We'll be hitting that area.
These are all circular
Fucking
questions.
bullshit.
No, but
it's fucking hate this.
Hey, no, you watched
This is the bullshit I voted against.
If I thought they could
No,
do something
you voted
about
for
it, I
this
would never
bullshit, my
say
friend.
that, but we'll be hitting that area pretty soon.
You're right.
And very heavily.
What the fuck, dude? What the
Mr. C,
fuck?
USA Patriot, thank you for the $5 super chat. Carpathia was the ship that arrived 2 hours later and picked up the survivors.
Isn't it crazy how it's called Carpathia? It's named after jagged edges, and the Titanic sank because it hit a jagged edge of an iceberg.
I don't even think it hit a jagged edge of an
It
iceberg.
hit an iceberg.
I don't believe anything.
It had been
anymore
on
they
fire
tell
for a
me.
few.
Conspiracies even around that, dude. You know, they were given repeated warnings. Like there was no reason for him to even sail that path.
Yeah, but that captain it was his last voyage. He'd been fucking up a lot lately.
You think so?
Some of his other routes. Yeah. He had like crashed a ship that he was trying to pull into port
Oh my
a few
gosh.
months before. He was fucking up.
You read his diaries.
He was Joe Biden. Like
My
he would,
wife left
He's
me.
lost his mind, but he can do this easy maiden voyage. You know, it'd be an honorable way for us to retire him. But no, he's like full speed ahead, right through the fucking icebergs. He went down with the ship though, like a good man.
Yeah. I think
there
I
are
would've-
reports that he was swimming around.
No, fuck. Dude, your limbs are going to freeze solid in that water in under a minute, bro.
You could swim for about 2 or 3 minutes.
You think you could swim? You think your limbs would be viable to have a good enough paddling?
For 2 or 3 minutes, yeah. Yeah. With the white vest on, yeah.
What do you think the average penis size was in that water with the shrinkage?
I mean, everyone was like Mark Levin.
Everyone had an innie?
Everyone was
I
like
swear
Mark
I
Levin,
got a dick.
Dude.
I promise.
Holy shit, my belly button got
It's just
fixed.
nothing but a turtle head.
Dude.
Can we get into clip 105? 108?
108?
Yeah, it's this shit that makes me wet.
All right.
Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins, part of a big testifying moment here before the Senate at the moment that also includes Chairman of the Joint Chiefs General Dan Kane and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. They are testifying right now about the Appropriations Committee and the administration's supplemental funding request. It's an $87 billion request, and it includes $67 billion to replenish weapons stockpiles used in the Middle East conflict, which could possibly include the manufacturing of what you see on, not what you see on the screen, but what you're about to see on the screen, hypersonic missiles. This is a
Patriot missiles
weapon
hypersonic?
Russia and
Not
China
yet.
have, but right now America does not. Now, if we can show you the one that on your screen, it's made by a company the Pentagon is turning to, a defense tech startup that says it can help refill the weapons coffers by producing advanced missiles fast and on the cheap. That company is Castilian.
Castilian, okay. That's exactly why we told Ukraine to fucking build their own missiles.
Exactly. But this is so dangerous
It's
because
so easy to put the pieces together if you just pay a little bit of attention.
if 219 passes, dude, this is the exact type
Game
of
over, man. Game
breakthrough
over.
that they would instantly. Dude, Israel has less than the GDP of freaking California. Less than, I think, the GDP of San Francisco, or just about. Why the fuck would we give away breakthrough technology like a $500,000 disposable hypersonic missile? These are like, that's the cost of a disposable. That's what they call them in the U.S. military. At $500,000 for a hypersonic, you know it costs China and Russia more than that. They're applying the Palmer Luckey and Durrell strategy to everything, and then we're just gonna hand it right over to the Dreidel boys.
Oh, I gotta sneeze. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all right. It's fucking bullshit, dude.
No, man. You know what it is? It's game over.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? We're some real pretty shit now, man.
You finished?
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
And that's the dude that played the dude that went down in the sub in the Titanic movie. It's all coming together. It does directly go in conjunction with the Carpathia.
Well, that's not the real scene, correct? That's like a voiceover.
No,
on that?
that's the scene. That's why that's the meme. It's game over, man. It's game over. Like everybody's referencing that scene.
Well, it's only game over if it passes the Senate. But we were
yeah, because the Senate's always been on our side. The Senate's definitely going to just really hold their ground on the Section 219 of the National Defense Authorization Act. I guess it's something, it's like, what, 22, 27 or something in the Senate. They have different numbers for the Senate and the House.
Well, 4 abstained from voting last time.
They're too fucking dumb to realize that they're
not
creating
dumb,
the
they're
same
compromised.
condition. It's the same shit. It's foolishness to allow yourself to be compromised. You have to be a certain level of foolish in order to be corrupted. Because the wise understand that though corruption is appealing and does have short-term yield and short-term gains, in the long end, it fucks everyone, including the corrupt and especially the corrupt.
You know, there is one way we could directly stop this, right?
Yeah. Of Mitch McConnell as he announces the passing of the SAVE Act.
I don't ever want to see Mitch McConnell again, dude.
Don't you want to see what Mitch McConnell's going to look like as he passes the SAVE Act? Here it is. Right here.
The ancient one?
The ancient one. There he is. The SAVE Act has been passed. We're passing.
Please help me, Marlon.
SAVE Act.
Do you recognize this?
Israel. Please don't support Israel.
Oh, Israel's our greatest ally in the region.
But in Doesn't Israel blackmail our politicians? Shouldn't we not support Israel whatsoever?
Well, actually, that's a common misunderstanding. I'm Mitch McConnell, and I love supporting our enemies in pedophiles.
That's the clip right there, baby. Anyway,
in light of that, can we play?
That was some good shit, bro.
So we're gonna put a bookend on our war updates. That's what's going on the military front, the geopolitical warfare front. Let's shift to the domestic. Clip 109.
I love domestic violence. All right, Asmongold, my boy.
Hassan delivers a Hitler-style rant in a Mao Zedong suit. Oh my God.
No more to the Democrats who compromise, who conciliate, and who betray us. No more to the Democrats who will collaborate and cooperate with the fascists. We don't need those Democrats anymore.
Wow, it's gone straight to his head.
You know, it says never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. This is so bad for the Democrats. The optics of having a guy go up there and do a Hitler-style rant in a Mao Zedong suit. Every
He's
middle
so bad
America
at it, too.
house, people are going to see this and they're like, well, what the fuck? Get this guy. I thought we got rid of all these
He's
guys. Wait, what
cosplaying
the
as a
hell is
communist
this?
revolutionary.
Get him the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
No,
He's like
we
half-hearted.
have a message.
No, it's
We
full-hearted. He's
are
just
coming,
retarded.
That's
and we
full-hearted?
will
Yeah, he's just a retard.
Undeniable.
No, he's
Spencer
all
Brown,
in.
This is just as insane as calling Hitler a great leader, except Mao killed even more than the Nazis. This is what's really crazy is that anybody who says that like Hitler was a good leader or something like that immediately would be deplatformed. Saying Mao Zedong, it's the same thing. I mean, Jesus, this guy killed even more people than Hitler did.
I got stopped by.
I would do some. Asians are the superior race. I started this party with 7 members. Like, come on, where's the flair? Where's the Ric Flair? Woo! Where's the passion, bro? You know? I would crucify my own mother to save my nation. Like, you'd get behind me in a radical movement, right?
No.
What? The annexation of Canada shall commence. Like, come on, dude. You wouldn't get behind me?
Oh, if you're going to annex Canada, yeah.
Yeah, we're starting with Alberta because they're fucking OGs over there. And then clip 110, Marco. We have a left-wing troll and a right-wing troll.
Probably the single most multi-layered, sophisticated diplomatic troll in your lifetime
Yeah,
of mine
I'm
was Marco
disappointed in
Rubio
him.
wearing the famous Maduro tracksuit. This is, of course, the tracksuit that Maduro was thrown into after we black-bagged him in the dark of night. Now he's in a prison cell. Marco Rubio wore this tracksuit on his way to China, a signal to China that we're about to take your last remaining friend in our hemisphere, which would be Cuba.
That's not accurate.
Now, at the time
Canada.
that the American administration was meeting with the Chinese, the CIA was meeting with the Cuban intelligence agency in Havana. Never a great thing when the CIA pays you a visit. And I'd love to have heard what was being explained here in a room that I can only describe as the cafeteria at Jurassic Park.
Whatever.
It's a hell of a lot of trolling going on, bro.
I know. It's just...
Gray sweatpants, huh? Just showing his bulge off to the Chinese. Are you all right, Chase?
No.
You look...
We elected an administration that trolls and fucks with optics instead of actually doing anything. What was the last thing that we reported on that was so huge? The massive amount of, was it Medicare fraud? Medicaid fraud? That they found, Nick Shirley?
Yeah, but even that was a shiny object because we're going to ignore the trillions that got extracted for the hundreds of millions to a few billion.
So, some great revelation that we've identified all of this fraud and all this corruption. No arrests. Some great revelation that so-and-so X or so-and-so Y perjured themselves in front of Congress. No prosecution. Some great revelation that we've identified Y number or Z number of pedophiles on the servers in Roblox. No arrests whatsoever. Alex Rosen single-handedly arresting or having arrested more pedophiles than the FBI. Literally, Alex Rosen in the last 12 months has had more pedophiles arrested than the FBI, which brags about its 200 arrests. Holy fucking shit. We have a president of the United States who has to beg his own director of the FBI to investigate and prosecute alleged voter fraud in our systems. So we've identified all of these backdoors, all of these loopholes, all of the cheating that took place in the voting machines, all of the vulnerabilities, and our president of the United States has to beg Kash Patel to look into it. We haven't heard a fucking peep from Kash Patel since he sang Wagon Wheel with his girlfriend on her birthday after flying a private jet there. I'm fucking done, dude. And I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy here, but I'm fucking done. We are toast. It's game over, man. Game over. They're pretending Mitch McConnell is conscious while our conscious president is asleep at the wheel.
It was never. Why are we? Americans used to be rugged individuals. That's what people respected about the United States. Rugged individualism, not collectivism, not. We don't need a government savior.
I'm just so glad Marco Rubio wore a Nike tracksuit. Of course, the great irony being China gets to laugh at Marco Rubio because that tracksuit was fucking made in China. It's fucking made in China, bitch. They made more money off that fucking tracksuit. You fucking... Oh, look what we're going to do. We're going to take Cuba. Here's a tracksuit. I'm going to wear what I do. You fucking... Ah! What?
It could have been made in Vietnam.
Oh, same fucking thing, dude. Who supported Vietnam during the Vietnam War? China!
No, China and Vietnam historically have had terrible relations.
I know, but they love communism.
They hate Asians are super racist, and most of it's reserved for each other.
Okay.
There's hope in racism. Thank you, Honey Badger, for the $5 super chat. I sent it to both of you. He's telling the American people to put yourself in their shoes. Remember, this is the 60s. JFK, peace speech, Russia. Very good point. What does Alex Rosen tell you? What does that whole method, his approach tell you? That we beat the fucking living crap out of you in Minecraft.
Please don't let me forget to clip that Mitch McConnell shit earlier. That was so
No,
fun.
we won't. I'll do it. Thank you, Deus Vault, for the $2 super chat. Both parties are gay, but one is closeted. And thank you, Squeezy VZ, for the $5 super chat. Alex Jones slipped that Tucker Carlson told him that Bongino tipped Carlson the Butler cover-up was on Trump's orders. Have y'all seen the money shot? Ooh, I love a good money shot.
Money, 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 money.
You know what a money shot is, right?
No. Like when somebody shows you their pussy?
No, the money shot's like when the dude splooges on like the girls. I don't even need to get into that.
I thought that was a pearl necklace.
Super fucking important right here. We reported that NORAD was called 10 times, I believe, if I have the number correct.
Guys, it's 9/11. Make a super chat. It's 9/11 for the next 59 seconds. Super chat $11.
No, you don't do
Never
that.
forget. Hashtag never forget. Hashtag we know who did it. Hashtag dancing. Hashtag Israeli.
Only if you can afford it, and we really appreciate
Even if you
your
can't afford
support.
it, you won't miss it.
Dude, shut up, bro.
Charge that shit, bro. You'll figure it out later. $11 in the super chat. Please, 9/11, never forget.
NORAD was called 10 times, I believe, to intercept.
Why are you yelling at me?
NORAD was called close to double-digit times, I believe 10 times, to perform an intercept with the F-15s and over Bedminster, New Jersey, and this kind of slipped.
Bedminster? I hardly know her.
Trump's golf course, too, by the way, is in Bedminster. But this seemed to slip under the radar because no mainstream news report when I was cutting clips.
Yes. The way you described it to me in the car was perfect.
Yeah, you didn't get that.
They found a weapon at LaGuardia, apparently. Not explicitly, apparently.
They didn't find a weapon at LaGuardia. There was a MANPAD alert issued at the air traffic control tower of LaGuardia Airport.
Which means
that someone potentially had access to a shoulder-fired
surface-to-air missile.
Yeah, Stinger missile, essentially.
All right, let's watch him.
This is probably the craziest thing I've ever heard an air traffic controller say at any civilian airport.
604 LaGuardia Tower, wind 210 at 10, runway 22 clear to land. MANPAD alert issued at LaGuardia Airport at 0027. Use extreme caution.
I thought a MANPAD was when Lindsey Graham used a tampon.
It's a male tampon.
MANPAD is. Yeah, that's a man portable air defense system. Yeah, it's basically it was a report of a rocket launcher.
Okay, where was that?
There was a report by the Port Authority Police. They said by, I believe, Terminal C. We had conflicting reports, but nothing has been an issue as of yet.
Okay, Delta 2604, thanks for the information.
You're welcome.
Do a barrel roll.
No need to respond, Delta 2064. Port Authority Police reported it was non-credible threat.
Do a barrel roll.
A non-credible threat, you say? Well, either way, what you just listened to was the air traffic controller talking to the Delta Flight 2604, warning them to use extreme caution on approach or landing because apparently the New York City Port Authority reported that there was apparently a MANPADS, meaning a man-portable air defense system, like one of those homing rockets that you've seen.
Is this Star Fox?
Yeah, that's what it's from.
Such a good video game.
Ladies and gentlemen, there has been a report of a rocket launcher.
barrel roll. This is Peppy. All barrel roll. Try a barrel roll. Slippy, get back here. Slippy, watch out. Oh, barrel roll.
Slippy.
Everybody stay alert. You've got an enemy on your tail. Use the barrel roll. Barrel roll. Do a 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 barrel roll.
Dude, you're going fucking. You're going fucking nuts, dude.
Yeah, sorry, guys. This is my show, so fuck you.
Yeah. No, I totally love it, dude.
I'm not saying fuck you to you. I'm just saying
fuck
anybody in the chat. It's like, oh, God damn it, turn off.
No, chat responded to your pleas for a 9/11 super chat. We got a bunch of them.
Thank you.
I'm going to shout them out. Thank you, Honey Badger, for the super chat. I'm with Chase on this. The reason all these crimes continue is because we stopped taking out these peoples. Do you think people would steal tax dollars if the result was death? I think we are too easy. I agree with you. The punishments definitely have to be harder, but we shouldn't be wasteful. We should extract their forced labor for the rest of their natural life.
I don't believe in slavery. I believe in either life or death, nothing in between.
Thank you, Leroy45 Long, for the super chat. He says he sent $10 and then his chat was +1. Thank you, Deus Fault, for the $10 super chat. Never forget the dancing Israelis on 9/11 who were art students who were set free through some immigration raid, and then they went on a talk show in Israel and talked forgiveness. You know, forgiveness will be dispensed.
Yeah.
Clip 112.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we could just play 112. Yeah.
All right.
Benjamin Netanyahu is not welcome in New York City, nor is any other war criminal at large.
This was a video posted by New York City
This
Mayor
was a
Zohran
video of
Mamdani on social
Mamdani.
media late on Tuesday, accusing Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of war crimes and genocide.
I mean, he's
in
not
Gaza.
wrong.
In the video,
Yeah,
he
but he's
references an arrest
just the wrong
warrant
guy to tell the
issued
message.
by
To commit war crimes and
2024 by the
genocide, trust me.
International Criminal Court,
He's ready
accusing
for his own
Netanyahu of
at-bat.
crimes against humanity in connection with the war in Gaza. The world's top crime court's warrant did not mention genocide. The warrant said there was reason to believe Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant have used starvation as a method of warfare by restricting
Yeah, that B-roll
humanitarian
is
aid
old. Look, they're
and
wearing
have
winter coats.
intentionally targeted
They
civilians
pulled up old-ass
in
B-roll of that
Israel's
building.
campaign against Hamas in Gaza. Charges Israeli officials deny. 73,000 people have been killed in Israel's military offensive in Gaza.
There's one place
since the
left to
start
live.
of the war.
Okay.
Thank you, Honey Badger, for the $5 super chat. Do you think congressmen would steal tax dollars if the result was death? Do you think foreign influence would happen if the result was death? Guys, why are we so low on forced labor?
Dude.
What do you think built the Great Wall? What do you think Genghis Khan did?
Everybody
This is a model that worked.
Everybody likes capital punishment more than they like slave labor.
That's an easy way out, Chase.
I don't care to give them a hard way out. I just want them out efficiently, quickly, immediately.
You guys will see things my way. Trust me. Extract the labor.
Hey, look, I'd rather see them your way than the way that they're currently going.
Of course. My way's great.
Thank you, but I prefer it my way.
Nothing wrong with forced labor, guys.
You know what I'm talking
Nothing
about?
wrong with, instead of us being in debt chattel slavery, why don't we just have actual slavery for people who deserve it?
Thank you, but I prefer
You
it
know,
my way.
they won't be handling food. We're not going to let them handle our food.
Thank you,
They're
but
going to be breaking iron ore.
I prefer it my way.
You know, they call me the Lord of War. But perhaps it is you.
It's not Lord of War. It's Warlord.
Thank you, but I prefer it my way.
And that's the clip.
Honey Badger disagrees with me. Thank you for the super chat. Death is the deterrent, Bak. Labor is not.
Yeah, you think it's the easy way out to send them straight to fucking eternal damnation? I think they'd be begging for that forced labor.
What if
when they
some
go
of them
straight
end
to
up
hell?
saved? That's not our choice to make. That's the Lord's choice to make. You know, if they're genuine in asking for salvation.
Then it truly is a divine mercy.
I don't know. This is the one thing I'll disagree with you and Chad on. I think my version of forced labor isn't like what county jail is going to be like, county prison is going to be like. It's going to be very torturous.
Let's skip 113 because we already hit it.
Yeah, no, we don't have to hit 113.
Let's do 114. Let's pivot to AI hack and Hugging Face.
Yes.
All right.
I'll hug your
Welcome
face.
back. An OpenAI model went rogue and hacked into another company all on its own. Kate Rooney has the details,
What
Kate, and the
what?
ramifications of this.
Yeah, Sarah, so OpenAI is now claiming responsibility for what they're describing as an unprecedented cyber incident. The short version of all of this, OpenAI's models
Well, this never
went
happened
out
before.
and hacked another company during a test run, which is known as an evaluation. It was essentially experimenting in a closed sandbox. It didn't have any internet access, but the AI found a way around all of that. It knew that the startup Hugging Face had the answer it was looking for and the data that it needed. It escaped that sandbox and then found a new vulnerability, exploited that on Hugging Face to get the test answer that it was out looking for. Hugging Face is an AI startup. It's backed by Amazon, Google, NVIDIA as well. It did disclose this last week.
We got the point.
Yeah.
OpenAI was doing cybersecurity tests, allegedly, just like when somebody happens to die in a military exercise. Oh, it was an accident, sorry, but you know that they were secretly deployed for a massive assassination of some warlord, Lord of War. Thank you, put that preferred my way. And OpenAI was probably actually just trying to hack Hugging Face in order to steal its models and its data and its information.
Oh, that's a very interesting
then it happens.
look
They
at
come
it.
out,
Yeah.
they say, sorry, training accident.
This was weeks ago, too.
Anytime it's a training accident, bro.
The incident was
Bro,
reported weeks ago.
Jeffrey
They
Epstein,
just
when,
fessed up
when
to
Jeffrey
it.
Epstein got caught being a pedophile, he said it was a training exercise. Somebody's got to teach him. I masturbated.
Possible to predict because of self-improvement.
When will I be one with the
and
porn?
Accelerating timeline.
Yeah, it's called
Any
singularity
solution.
for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't know what goes happen. What happens after the event horizon? You know?
Exactly. You can never see past the black hole or the event horizon.
But Ray has the singularity out way too far.
We're in the singularity.
Well, we are in the singularity for sure.
Yeah.
We're in the
Yeah.
midst of it right now for sure.
Well, we're in this beautiful sweet spot, which is
fucking
the roller
beautiful.
coasters were just.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great analogy. It's like that feeling.
You're at the top of the roller coaster and you're about to go.
Yeah, but you know it's gonna be a lot of G's when you
Yeah, a lot of G's.
when you hit it.
I don't have to just have courtside seats. I'm on the court, and it still blows my mind. Sometimes multiple times a week.
Thank you, Honey Badger, for the super chat. Training accidents are legal. The VTOLs are shit. Thank you, Brett Little, 4606, for the $50 super chat.
Holy shit, Brett Little.
And it's just a penis emoji.
Brett Little is the man.
Yeah.
You met Brett?
Yeah, I met Brett. That's Brett watching the show?
Yeah, that's my boy,
Hell
Brett.
yeah, Brett.
Thank
We're going
you
to go on the dark web
Brett
soon
Little,
together.
Brett Little famously captured the footage of me being swatted.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you for the footage. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for your support, guys. We really appreciate it. They lied to us, like every timeline, like when they said the robots aren't going to have opposable.
They lied to us? Why would they do that?
They said the singularity was supposed to happen.
They lied?
Yeah. They said the singularity wasn't supposed
They
to happen
didn't lie.
until the late 2030s. Now we have Musk, a person who would know, telling us we're already in it.
Hold on. That might not be. I'm fact checking you on that. I'm not disputing you, but I am fact checking.
That's all right. You like to give pedophiles the easy way out. You like that cheap shot?
That was good. When did Ray Kurzweil first predict the singularity would happen? He was like chief futurist at Google for years. Such a gay title.
You'd be in my labor camp.
Okay. All right. It's coming. Ray Kurzweil first predicted the singularity would occur in 2045, just like you said, in his 2005 book, The Singularity is Near When Humans Transcend Biology. Okay? Kurzweil discussed the exponentially he predicted human level AI, AGI, around 2029. That's pretty close.
That was pretty damn accurate, yeah.
Yep, in his 1999 book, The Age of Spiritual Machines. So earlier than the book that he predicted a later singularity, he accurately predicted AGI. He's consistently maintained the 2045 singularity timeline in later works and interviews, including his 2024 follow-up, The Singularity is Nearer, distinguishing it from the earlier 2029 AGI milestone. So I think Kurzweil's definition of the singularity may be a little bit more
different,
a little bit more stringent. I think he's thinking about like nanobots in your bloodstream.
Well, that's already here.
Yeah,
That's been here.
but
Since...
like interfacing with the internet. So like because of the nanobots, you're like tweeting, and because of the nanobots, like we're communicating with each other, even though no words are being spoken in the room. You know what I mean? I think that he has more of like a cyberpunk science fiction sense of what the singularity is. Whereas Elon Musk, if you watch his interview with Joe Rogan, his first one, he was talking about how we were already in a singularity. It was just very low resolution because we spend so much time interfacing with our phones. He's like, look, your eyes looking at a phone screen all day long is the singularity. It's just low res. So
yeah,
they're
the
saying
bandwidth isn't quite
they
there
like
yet.
to say the singularity's here because it hypes up their stock, and we're tech guys and we're so trendy and it's already the future and it happened 20 years earlier. But what Kurzweil's talking about is like, no, man, the fucking singularity is jacked in. That's retarded. All right, let's move on.
Fuck are you?
Oh, fuck are you, Mr. Geiser?
We don't need to have Elon Musk explain the singularity, correct?
Well, let's do it.
All right.
Well, you talk about enhancing humanity. I'm curious then about AI, which many people say will lead to great productivity gains. You showed those robots. I mean, I can imagine what they conceivably could do when powered by AI. But I'm also curious, because you've certainly been concerned, what percentage do you give the chance that it will destroy humanity?
Well, the advent of artificial general intelligence is called a singularity because it is so hard to predict what will happen after that.
He's saying that the advent of artificial general intelligence is the singularity, whereas Kurzweil distinguishes.
Well, AGI and ASI are two separate things, like going Super Saiyan 1 and then Super Saiyan 2.
100%.
So is a general intelligence going to supersede all of combined human intelligence, or is the super intelligence going to supersede all combined human intelligence?
Well,
That'd be the main question to ask
I think the
here.
artificial general intelligence will be a super intelligence. Like,
in its own right?
We'll all have access to Claude's AGI, and we'll deploy different agents that are clones that operate on behalf of whoever deploys them. Yeah. We'll pull from a centralized authority AGI technology. We'll license it from them. We'll pay astronomical fees every month. We'll have access to the AGI. It'll do almost everything for us except for the things that we really want it to do.
What a crazy time to be alive. They already have the day quantum's deployed. They already have a name for it. It's called Q Day. This is like starting to pop up, this trend everywhere where quantum's ubiquitous. Can we play clip 117?
Mm-hmm.
It's like D-Day, but quantum.
Q Day. And should we be worried about it? The Q is for
sounds
quantum,
great to me.
as in quantum computing.
I just love it.
And Q Day is the day when these powerful machines will be able to break
fucking
the
AI music in the
sophisticated
background.
cryptography on which our modern life relies. Used in everything from banking transactions to government IDs. And apparently Q Day may be drawing near. So what makes these machines so powerful? Quantum computers harness the power of single atoms to achieve quantum effects at
All right.
scale.
Everybody knows what quantum computers do.
But what'd you say?
Everybody knows what quantum computers do.
I wouldn't say that.
We've talked about it for months.
Yeah, we know what quantum computers do.
Zero. But quantum bits?
Turns out quantum computers work on the quantum level, at the atomic level. Yeah, no shit.
At the same time. If this sounds
Look at this
too
fucking guy. He's wearing a sweater
think
vest.
Of a maze.
Oh,
A
cut
normal
the clip
computer
then. I didn't know he was wearing a fucking sweater vest, dude. That got by my beady little eyes. The fuck sweater vest? Off to my camp now, bro. We'll put you in a turtleneck, motherfucker. You're done, bro. Breaking rocks for the rest of your fucking life.
You want to enrich some uranium, you pedophile?
Yeah.
We won't even have to castrate you. It'll just happen.
These are just like technological...
No lead shielding for your balls. This is worse than Chernobyl, motherfucker. Get that uranium. Give it to Saudi Arabia. War, war, war.
That is the future, right? Man-machine interface.
Future's uncertain, and the
Autonomous
end is
warfare.
always near.
Do we want to get into clip 118? These are like the technological breakthroughs.
No.
I can talk about it.
Yeah, tell me about the artificial sun in China.
Yeah, so we know that China's been testing with artificial suns. They've actually deployed one. We've all seen the TikTok footage a few years ago. But this requires a massive, massive magnet. And this is the biggest in the world. And China just switched it on for their artificial sun program. Which, honestly, it could be a weapon. It could be a blessing if we could re-terraform the Earth and increase crop yields. We could do a lot with this technology, a lot of good, but just like every other technology, it's a double-edged sword. What is that?
I am a Sagittarius. Looking good. There's nothing new under the sun.
No, this is all fallen angel technology.
The future uncertain and the end is always near. That's some good fucking rock and roll.
You just caused us to lose all our black viewers.
So?
I think some of the
They
Asians
weren't doing
even left.
super chats.
No, yeah, they were.
Not the blacks.
You remember when we talked about the AI governance council that China
Yes.
has made during the whole Iran war?
Yes.
Can we play clip 119?
Yeah, we can. It's not as good as Roadhouse Blues.
No, it's not.
Global tech leadership in AI.
We got to hit the news,
The
too.
2026 World Artificial Intelligence Conference in Shanghai, China,
Shanghai.
brought together thousands of tech companies and leaders who are calling for worldwide cooperation on AI.
AI can help speed the energy transition, managing grids, integrating renewables, cutting waste. But its growing demands for energy, water and land must be brought into the open. I call on every major AI.
Yeah, I can't tell.
Anyway, they made an AI council.
Yeah, and 29 nations have already signed on to this.
What's the deal, though?
The deal is that there's going to
We have formed a committee which will be very effective, unlike all committees.
You know what Ayn Rand said about committees? She
What?
said no one ever makes a statue of a committee.
Yeah, I don't think the Asians are interested in statues. I think they're interested in global domination.
They're fucking obsessed with statues. If you photograph the back of the statue of Kim Jong-il in North Korea, you get arrested because it's disrespectful. They fucking love statues. Are you kidding me? What about that entire terracotta army that was found buried? It was just statue, statue,
Yeah,
statue,
and-
statue.
and where were those statues?
They
Underground, 'cause no one gave a fuck.
Love statues, bro. They've made more statues in the history of statues than any other statue or
that
statue.
is something you pulled out
No
of your
one
ass.
has ever made more statues than Asians.
Asians build railroads and walls. They don't build fucking that many statues.
Dude, okay. All right. Which ethnicity throughout history has built the most statues? Do a deep dive. Figure it out.
That's
no
a
bitching.
white person thing, dude.
No, bullshit. Just because white people have the most famous statues doesn't mean that white people built the most statues, bro.
That's your opinion.
Elton John has the most records ever. Does he have the most hits? No, because the last fucking 30 years of
Elton
records
John
have blown.
is a raging faggot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell of a guy, though.
That song Rocket was about his penis. Rocket Man.
Was it?
No. That's just me. That's my conjecture.
Tiny Dancer was about his penis.
Thank you, Honey Badger, for the $2 super chat. JFK peace speech on the C-SPAN YT channel. Man, Honey Badger really loves that speech. Darvis cannot find it,
Dude,
brother.
He sent it to me. I just forgot to pull it up.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
nah,
dude.
really? You forgot?
He sent me the details
Okay.
in text after the show, and then that was 2 days ago, and I forgot.
Sorry about that, Honey Badger. We will play that speech. I swear to God, we will.
Oh shit, Grok is thinking it's calculating terracotta.
Yeah, because no, fucking
No,
that-
listen,
that
I'm about
doesn't
ready to
count.
prove you wrong, and you're just gonna have to fucking accept it, dude. But if you're right, okay. Chinese, primarily Han Chinese cultural production, have built the most statues throughout history. No complete global census exists. Records are incomplete. Definitions of statue vary. Freestanding figurative works versus high relief carvings versus small idols. Survival rates differ due to iconoclasm, wars, materials, and modern inventories focus on public or museum pieces. Still, the available archaeological and historical evidence points clearly to Chinese production as the largest in scale and volume. Terracotta army between 221 and 210 BCE. Near the Xi'an, estimated 6,000 to 8,000 life-sized clay figures, soldiers, horses, chariots, officials, acrobats even. Single largest group of life-size statues ever recorded. The Longmen grottos, northern way to Tang, 5th to 8th century. And later, approximately 110,000 Buddhist stone statues across 2,300 plus caves and niches. Sizes range from tiny, a few centimeters, to monumental, over 17 meters. The Yungyang grottos, dating 5th to 6th century, about 51,000 statues and 252 caves. The Magao caves in Dunhuang, over 2,000 painted clay sculptures. Just these major sites yield well over 160 to 170,000 documented statues, you little fuck. China has nearly 6,000 cave temple rock. Dude, comparison to other India and South Asian, extremely high continuous output Hindu Buddhist. Over 2,000 plus years, but we're talking Greco-Roman, only 50,000. The Chinese have done 3,000.
Dude, statues underground and hidden in caves don't fucking count. Okay? A statue is a monument. We're not talking about sacrificial fucking substitutes for men that die with the king.
That's so dumb to say that they don't count.
They don't fucking count, dude. What the fuck use is a statue no one's meant to see? Right? It's like playing beautiful symphony music for people like in underground in a cave. Oh, me and my army of one will hear this. That don't fucking count. Nuh-uh.
I just murdered you in that fucking debate.
No, you didn't murder fucking shit but your vagina, dude. Statues in caves. Statues underground. We're going to put a statute of limitations on that fucking bullshit.
I tore your pussy up until it looked like Owen Schroyer's haircut.
Dude, he's on the glow down became a glow up.
Oh, yeah, dude. He figured it out.
Yeah, it was working for him.
Right.
Remember he did that stream with the shirt off?
Yeah, he always gets more views when he does
with
that.
the nippies out?
Doesn't have a positive impact on my streams at all when I do that.
No.
Remember
it doesn't. I think we lost viewers when you showed your areolas, dude.
Remember when he got swatted and he took his shirt off?
No, I didn't know that, dude.
He knew the clip was going to go viral, so he ripped his fucking shirt off.
Nah, really?
It's so fucking
that is
funny.
I can respect that, dude. That's
he knew
so
it was
funny.
coming. He's like, hey, guys. It's a non-starter, rips off his shirt. He's got the cameras all set up.
Imagine, like, sir, you did not need to do that. Put your shirt back on. That I never caught that. That's so fucking funny.
Anytime the guy's about to go viral, he pops his shirt off.
Let's get away from the AI shit. We don't have to play clip 120 or 121, but we should play clip 122 because this is a huge economic indicator.
Okay, playing.
3 weeks ago, South Korea had the best performing stock market in the world. The stock market is something called the Kospi, and it's gone up almost 200% in the last 12 months. Compared to other stock markets like the US's S&P 500, which only made 24%, South Korea was just on another level. At one point this year, one of their companies, Samsung, was up over 500%, and SK Hynix was up over 1,000%. And that's basically a 10x on your money, which is just unheard of. Now, here in the US, our equivalent of the stock market is something called the S&P 500. Represented by ETFs like this one.
I'm bored.
VOO.
Explain it to me.
Okay. So the stock market in Korea over the past, I believe, week to a week and a half had something they called Black Tuesday. The whole stock market as a whole dropped 10% in a day. People lost fortunes. I think something like 1 in 30 Koreans invested in the stock market had their accounts drained. They burned their accounts up. They went to zero.
Okay.
And the problem with that is it's two companies. It's SK NI, which is their big semiconductor processor over there, and Samsung lead and drive the Kospi, which is the Korean stock market. Korean stock market, well known, overperforms internationally. A lot of international money, sovereign wealth funds, stuff like that, they invest in the Kospi to get outsized returns, something like 10x to 30x on your money. But the problem with this is we have a similar top heavy weight in our S&P 500. It's the Mag 7. They only have 2 over there. We have 7 to 8 companies that drive most of the gains in the stock market. On top of that, their stock market is leveraged, just like our stock market. So when the Mag 7 busts, people are going to be on the hook for times 2, times 3.
Who gives a fuck what happens to South Korea's stock market?
No, they structured their stock market in a similar way we have our stock market.
Okay, so the vulnerability that's been exhibited in South Korea is indicative of something that could very feasibly happen
exactly.
here in the United States.
They have 2 companies driving most of the gains there. We have 7 to 8.
Okay.
And
they're probably in overlapping industries,
it's
mostly
the
military
same
industrial
exact
complex.
industries, the
Right.
tech bubble, the AI bubble,
Okay.
semiconductor bubble. So our vulnerabilities are their vulnerabilities. This is a test case for an indicative of what's coming to our shores, probably at the end of this year into the first half of next year. We also have leveraged ETFs. We have leveraged stock trading here. So when your margin called, they cut your account and sell at a loss, and you're on the hook. If you had ×2, ×3,
Why are you yelling at me?
For your positions, you're going to be at a ×2, ×3 for your losses also. It's the same exact fucking thing.
Stop yelling.
So that is the terrible news that be on the lookout. If you're in the stock market, you better sell these highs, man. Do not
Don't give financial advice.
This is not So
Tell me about this radioactive dust contamination in the United States.
Well, can we hit 123? Because this is really disgusting behavior out of Trump.
Trump's selling access to the data on Truth Social. Do we have to watch a clip?
We don't have to watch the clip. Do you want? Can you elaborate for our viewers though?
All the Patriots signed up for Truth Social after Trump got banned from Twitter, and now Trump is selling the data to advertisers.
And it's just milliseconds ahead. They're saying milliseconds to a few seconds ahead of the tweets going out to the general public. And you already have all these freaking magtards lined up, which I understand. If you're built your own flash trading software and you stand to profit enormously off these notices, off these announcements, then I understand because you're actually in the game. You're a real dirty dog. You're
a shark. You're a killer.
Yeah, you're a killer. You're a shark. But come on, man, have some fucking self-respect, President Trump. Like Trump, like Chase was saying, he could. Whatever. He'll give you a pass on the nepotism. He'll give you a pass on the insider trading. But is nothing sacred anymore? Like, you stand in the office of the presidency and you're selling fucking early access to your truth tweets, bro. That's pathetic. That's absolutely pathetic. And I'm not here as some purist. Like, I wouldn't even do that. And I don't have health insurance, bro. I wouldn't be the president of the United States, like, selling feet pics, dog.
We should just launch a fucking shit coin.
No, I don't have that in me to rug pull. What would our meme coin be, anyways?
It'd be called Stu Peters.
Yeah, can you tell me more about that a little bit? He rugged the Jew coin. What was the coin?
I don't know enough about it to speak to it.
Goy coin.
Doesn't look good.
Yeah, no. And he's someone that's been beefing with Alex too.
Really?
Yeah. Him and Alex, Rex has actually reached out to him. He said, no one's banned on my channel. Harrison's been talking with Stu Peters too, saying, hey, come on, but we'll do a Zoom type interview. We don't know if you're allowed in the studio. It's another person that turned on Alex viciously because Alex mentions there's multiple factions, and he wasn't ahead of the JQ. For a long time, he was like, all right, guys, every Jew.
All you gotta fucking do is Google Stu Peters and you can come to your own conclusion.
Would you ever have him on this show if you wanted to be?
No.
A guest?
No. But not because I disagree with him. Not a moral stance, but just because I'm not interested. Like, I'm bored.
Well, he's made a whole economy out of he's in the Jew economy.
I know, but he's boring. Like, if I was going to have somebody on that espoused similar views, I'd have Nick Fuentes on because he's way more interesting. He's way smarter.
Fact.
Way
fucking smarter.
Yeah. I don't want to beef with Stu Peters because it's distracting, but I don't care.
Thank you, Alaska. Rance. Oh, Rance gave us a super chat. Thank you for the $20 super chat, Rance.
Thanks, Rance.
Yep, you guys should follow him on X. He makes all these reports and exposés. Really interesting account to follow. He says Corridor deals pre-written energy contracts filed. Then the war clears the old board. Qatar out Russia, out U.S. exporters cash in IMEC locked under peace branding. Not war, not markets. It's their OS, operating system. We just pay rent to live here. Whoa, my mind's blown.
He's so good.
Yeah. Very smart guy. You should follow him. Rance, Alaska. Should we get into the domestic pollution front now? Clip 124.
Can we just talk about it?
I don't remember enough now from the clip.
Right.
Yeah.
Visit to the beach might come with a warning.
Well, this was
Public
Los
health
Angeles
officials
Beach.
say bacteria levels are causing a health alert at some popular
It may
LA
not
beaches.
be my first
With
day
your
on the
favorite
job, but
spot
I
be on
am
the
green.
list. We go live to Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf in Santa Monica. Matthew.
Christine, big crowds out here trying to beat the heat today. Not everyone getting those warnings. As millions pack LA County beaches
A
to
lot of
escape
blacks.
the heat. Signs are up along some of the coast, warning of high bacteria levels associated with fecal contamination.
I smelled something walking up, but when you're in
I
California,
thought it was
just
my
ignoring it.
husband. This family from Buffalo visiting the Santa Monica Pier.
I said Bobby.
Now avoiding the water.
Swimming wasn't in the plan for today.
There are signs out here warning of high bacteria levels, but a lot of people aren't seeing them.
What does that mean exactly? Like,
You might be on the toilet for a while. or you
yeah,
might get
yeah,
in
it's
here.
time to go. And I
Where's Dad?
It's a little cold when you first get in.
This guy's so funny.
It's nice.
Lake Severson had been swimming.
That's foul.
Until we showed him the warning.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not getting back in. That's disgusting.
There's over 650,000 gastrointestinal diseases attributed to swimming in this water right here annually. That doesn't bother you. I don't know.
All right. There's so much wind.
And that's not even necessarily LA's fault.
Keep talking. Sorry.
Mexico flushes their raw sewage out. Remember when they were making fun of Taco Bell for Cyclospora?
Yeah.
You have a whole country of Taco Bell just dumping raw sewage out, and it makes it all the way up to the beaches in San Diego and LA. So it's not even necessarily 100% their fault. And I remember Steve Quayle saying this too. You're going to hear a time with all these migrants, tens of millions. The sewage capacity in our country, in our cities, in our towns, are not meant to process this much raw sewage. So now you're seeing the end result of endless migration to this country. Thank you, Kryptonite Rick, for the super chat. Shout out to Chase Bak. It's Bak, brother, but I appreciate you. And also the Bacon Cheeseburger Nationalist, brought to you by Kyle Seraphin, who sent me here. Keep up the stellar work,
is
boys.
an American hero.
Yeah.
I love Kyle
FBI.
Seraphin.
Yeah, he's a fucking OG, bro.
Oh, dude. Nobody fucks with Kyle.
I mean, another American who gave up all the bright lights and the cush palace job to just go out and be an American and do on.
Do you remember when
reporting.
everybody was scared of Laura Loomer? Like you didn't want to get loomered. That was the thing. Like, oh, you got loomered. She had some good shit going on. Like before the last election.
That was like
cycle.
a year ago.
Yeah. Then she lost her mind. Well, then it became apparent to everyone that she had lost her mind. That probably happened 10 years ago. Kyle Seraphin is like Loomer, not in the sense that he's insane, because he's not insane, but you don't want fucking Seraphin to catch your scent.
Really?
If you're fucking up and Seraphin catches the scent, relentless.
He's like a sheepdog.
Yeah, he will fuck you up, dude.
The
Don't
Scent
let him
of a
catch
Woman.
that scent.
Remember that movie, The Scent of a Woman?
Always be fucking nice to Kyle Seraphin. Always.
Especially if you're up to no good.
Let the boy watch.
Let the boy watch. Can we cover the radioactive dust contamination currently happening in the United States?
That's what we just did.
No, that was clip 125, Los Angeles Beach shit. Clip 124 you skipped over. It's radioactive dust.
Let's skip it.
All right.
Because I want to talk about Brian Johnson cloning himself.
Well, hold on. Let me just give... There is radioactive dust contamination happening in the interior United States. Look it up, guys. It's terrible. You don't want that type of dust on you.
Where's it coming from?
Well, I told you. I didn't remember the rest of the clip.
I played the wrong clip on accident?
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
That's all right.
Let's watch this before we watch the Brian Johnson thing. What he gets into here at some point in this clip, it's long, so I'm not going to play the whole thing. But what he gets into is the legal loophole that is generated from the human-animal hybrid, right? So you can't legally in the United States clone a human being straight up. I'm sure the government does it. I'm sure there's loophole, black budget, secret programs that have authorized it under some weird form of FISA or whatever. I'm sure the government does it.
There's human rights and animal rights.
Right. There's human rights and there's animal rights. But if you take human DNA and you experiment in conjunction, collaboration, combination with animal DNA to produce an organ or a tendon or a limb or a bone or whatever, it doesn't legally fall under the auspice of
either
human,
or.
human or animal genetic manipulation, right? So what they're doing is they're taking human DNA, they're combining it with either inconsequential or so comparable animal DNA that it's equally effective as if they were to clone a human straight up, and they are experimenting with developing these organs. They've already got it all figured out. This comes into play with Brian Johnson. So Brian Johnson is what I perceive to be naive, autistic gentleman who happens to look like a vampire and inadvertently be practicing Satanism. Inadvertently. I think he's probably, like, at his heart, a good person. But this is the guy that has the Don't Die t-shirt, the Don't Die brand. His whole thing is solve aging, solve death, solve mortality, and all of his content and all of his business and his fundraising is centered around experiments that he performs on himself. So he does things like, his son has volunteered to give him blood regularly because there's evidence to suggest that, if you're an older gentleman and you have a blood transfusion of younger blood, that there's health benefits associated with that, whether it's, hormonal levels, whether it's anti-aging, whether it's telomere stuff, you name it. There is evidence to suggest that the blood of younger people is healthy for the blood of older people, right? This is something Diddy has been accused of with his blood boys. Brian Johnson's very transparent that he does this with his son. It's something that his son volunteered to do. It's weird to me. I don't like it, but whatever. It's above board, I guess. But he does these other experiments as well where, he measures his levels in his health after he spends 45 minutes in a sauna at X temperature, and then he tries it again for a few weeks at 50 minutes at Y temperature, and then he measures the results and he develops this curriculum for optimal human health and anti-aging, right? And so he can come out and say, based off of all of his markers, that he's, not chronologically, but biologically maybe half his age, right? He looks good. He dyes his hair now, and he does some things aesthetically that are kind of shortcuts to looking younger than he is. But he basically looks like a healthy vampire, and he's trying to figure out how to live forever. It has recently been disclosed that he suffers from an autoimmune disorder that is, as he says, his stomach is eating itself. It's not terminal as I understand it, but it is chronic, so there's no cure for it. I think he's going to die at a fairly normal age. I think he's going
to die younger than us.
Maybe younger. You just can't beat it, man. It's like when the Egyptians tried to mimic all of Moses, like miracles, whatever. And yeah, you can game it to a certain extent, and then it just ends up being bullshit, right? And all the firstborn children die. So it's not working for him, but it's come out. He said this in his own post that the word cloned was used. He hasn't made a fetus that's him, like we would think of with a clone, but he has
fetus deletus.
He has used or allowed his DNA to be used to artificially grow clones of his organs, which in my opinion is an egregious violation of human rights. I just don't think I'm not one of these people that thinks that your mind is all that you are. I think your heart and your mind and your gut are all connected.
What about the soul?
And the soul, of course, but I just think if you're growing organs, even if it's only, a fraction of a person, it's still infinitely valuable as a human life. Now, I understand if I was, dying of kidney failure or liver failure, and there was some new way that they could take stem cells out of my body and grow a duplicate of the healthy version of my liver, I'd probably be tempted to do that. Right,
transhumanist bastard.
Just to admit, I've never faced death so closely. I don't know what decisions that I would make if I was about to die. I'd be thinking about my kids. Do they need my income? It's a complicated decision. But as a healthy man who doesn't have to make that decision himself, especially since Brian Johnson isn't terminally ill, I find it very bizarre how cavalier this mentality is with human genetic experimentation. So let's watch this clip a little bit.
Cash out the super chat out first.
Yeah.
The Skipper 1776. Thank you for the $5 super chat. It says at band practice, wasting my time, so had to tune into my ninjas.
My ninjas.
Brian Johnson claims that he has cloned.
I know that the fucking clones have been schizophrenic and had behavior problems, and they die young, and there's issues.
Not even that.
Those have all been worked out top secret, dude.
Oh, I believe so. Yeah, this is management narrative.
I know he's making points, but it's bull. To say that they can't fucking clone you is bullshit.
Dude, they have a super soldier program. All great powers have this in place. I don't think Brian Johnson's not naive.
He's saying that it's impossible because he's morally opposed to it.
Yeah. Brian Johnson's godless. You don't use terms like blood boy. You think he doesn't know about adrenochrome, where it comes from?
He's playing.
You think he doesn't know why the elites say things like blood boy in the first place?
Let me ask you this, Bak.
It's very vampiric.
Have you ever watched the entirety of a long form interview with Brian Johnson?
No, because I want to get my stake out and freaking rid the earth of the vampires.
Once you watch him interviewed long form, you will realize that he is just a naive, autistic person who doesn't realize that he's experimenting with black magic.
Dude, he's godless.
Yeah.
You think he's not aware of the supernatural? He's not aware of us thumbing our nose at God?
I can't speak to that. But I can tell
I
you,
have the dick of an 18-year-old.
I'm telling you, dude, he doesn't know what he's doing.
I definitely know he doesn't know what he's doing.
He's like a 14-year-old girl with a Ouija board, dude.
Dude,
she thinks it's fun.
He's gonna do all this shit. He is the preeminent biohacker
Look,
since
I'm
Liver
against
King
it.
went down.
I'm against the whole thing he's doing, dude. I'm just saying
He's not
doesn't
naive, Chase.
fucking know what he. No, he is. He's naive, dude. He is spiritually naive. He's autistic. He's fucking obsessed with trains, and he's gonna do train shit forever.
He's gonna get Mario Karted. He's gonna do all this shit to stay alive. And he's gonna slip on a banana peel. And it's gonna be so funny.
Let's save the Ark of the Covenant shit and the some of these other clips for the Friday show.
All right, yeah, no, I'm totally cool with that.
This was a really good 2 hours.
100%.
Let's wrap it. Let's do a final plug, a final request for aid and assistance, a final opportunity to do a super chat for us to read, and then let's wrap.
All right, do you want to do the plug? I can't talk.
I like it when you do it.
It's gonna be a horrible plug.
You're funnier than I am.
Fellow citizens and patriots, it is me, your supreme commander, the Click Commander. This is an appeal for assistance and aid. We are in FEMA Region 4, outnumbered, in the anus of the globalists. It's hot and heavy and it stinks in here. Give us the will to fight on. I pledge as tribute. Meet me at the hanging tree. Any aid you can render to us we will appreciate the fuck out of it. Either way, the information war will continue. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Oh, yeah. And you can find Chase at Real Chase Geiser on IG and X. You can find me at Real Steven Bak on IG, X, Facebook, YouTube, and anywhere else social media is distributed. And if you can sign up to chasegeyser.com, we've worked out all the technical kinks. You can be a founding member and help support us on our journey, or you can sign up for free. Come on down, dog. Oh, and Honey Badger, thank you for the super chat. Go watch that speech, Chase and Bak. We're going to play that speech next one.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you, Mr. C, USA Patriot, for the super chat. He is also a Click Commander. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you. The honor and pleasure of working with the great Alex Jones for a number of years at InfoWars.
Do you hear what I'm telling you? Do you hear me? Burning too good for you. Killing's too good for you.
As you know, InfoWars was shut down just a number of weeks ago, and in response to that shutdown, I decided to launch my own network to stay in the fight. I launched Chase Geiser Network at chasegeyser.com for the purpose of staying in the information war, because despite whatever they may do to InfoWars, the information war has just begun. In fact, it's escalating to a point beyond any point we've seen throughout our entire history as human beings walking on the face of this planet. With artificial intelligence ramping up, deep state data centers being built all over our nation, as well as this conflict with China in the AI arms race that's taking place right now, things are about ready to get really, really sketchy in terms of psychological operations, propaganda efforts, Mockingbird-esque efforts only powered by artificial intelligence, so that we see corruption in a way that we've never seen before. I'm calling upon all of you to subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/@ChaseGeyserNetwork. You can also get a link to it in my bio on X at Real Chase Geyser. But most importantly, if you could, find it in your heart to go to chasegeyser.com. That's ChaseGeiser.com. And sign up as a foundational member. Cancel anytime. We're going to be streaming several times a week for several hours each time, and ramping up the amount of content that we're creating to daily content, special reports. Now, if you go to chasegeyser.com and you sign up as a foundational member, you will have access to an exclusive community, direct contact with myself and my other hosts as well, and you'll be keeping us in the information war in this fight as it escalates. This fight is ultimately about defeating and overcoming evil which loves to lie and engage in deception. And we see that this administration is not everything that we hoped that it would be. And I'm very concerned that the future for the United States of America is in dire straits. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to come together, and instead of relying on one strong leader or somebody who seems to advocate for all of our specific wants and needs, we're going to have to come together as info warriors, support each other, and ensure that the truth is broadcast like never before.
Steven Bak here, asking you to become a foundational member at Chase Geyser Network. I am now what I would hope to be the front... Steven Bak here. Hello, my name is Steven Bak. We're going live. I just can't even talk correctly. My name is Steven Bak. I'm pleading with you. Now, none of you will probably see this ad because it's terrible.
You have a real skill, bro.
So please go to chasegeyser.com and be the reason I will always be on the air.
Chase Geyser Network. Subscribe.